So let's talk about Confederacy of Dunces. This is actually a copy of the book that I purchased online. It's got this funny cover of our main character, Mr. Riley, and I can't even I can say his name when I'm looking at it, but I'm blanking now. That's okay. And I want to talk very briefly about this name. So I thought it was very strange, and maybe it's just because we finished reading about the Confederate States. My brain was like, Confederacy? What is this meaning? Where are we looking at it? So I mentioned in our last class meeting that I went to the Oxford English Dictionary, the OED, one of my favorite things, and I pulled some definitions. So there are two ways that Confederacy can be defined. A union, well, actually there were several, but I pulled just two out. A union by league or contact between persons, bodies of men, or states for mutual support. Okay, that's number one. And then we also have, in a bad sense, a league or unlawful or evil purpose, a conspiracy. So I think that's kind of interesting that we've got this idea of a conspiracy. We're going to come back to that. And then we have a dunce. So that is a person who's slow at learning or low intelligence, a stupid, dim-witted person, an idiot. And then I put a cute little cat in a dunce hat because that's fun. All right, so let's keep trekking. When we look at this quote at the beginning of the novel, I think it's very interesting because it says, when a true genius appears in the world, you may know him by this sign, that the dunces are all in confederacy against him. So if confederacy is a conspiracy and a dunce is a stupid person, I think this begs the question. Sorry, Loom has this weird little, oh no, it went to my GIFs. There we go. I think this begs the question, who are the dunces in this tale? Is it Riley or is it the, quote, Confederates or the people around Riley? So when you look at this novel, we see Riley as this, like, he's kind of this dense character. He doesn't make the best decisions. We know all of that. But when we really unpack what the novel is giving us, when you look at this line here, true genius appears in the world, you will see that the person that's a genius based on the dunces that are in confederacy against him. So people, in Riley's opinion, are just out to get him. You know, the wheel of fortune keeps landing on bad for him. And the world seems to be in conspiracy against him. So in this tale, I wonder if maybe the dunces are all of the people around Riley, and then Riley is our, quote, genius. And that's just something to think about. I don't know. All right, now that we've looked at the name, because I think that's a really fun name, and I just wanted to talk about it. It's interesting. Let's talk about a picaresque. Because I don't know about y'all, but I haven't really, I've heard the term before, but I wasn't exactly sure what it was. So, the Spanish word for picaresque, picaresca, came from picaro, first used in early 1600s, and which English came to mean rogue, bohemian, adventurer, or rapscallion. Fancy. We took picroon, the argumentative of picaro, and we made it. Okay, so y'all can read that. I'm not going to read it all. But essentially, this is an article right here that breaks down, first of all, what is a picaresque, and then it gives some novels as examples. But my interest was here at this, what is a picaresque? Because I wasn't 100% sure. And I thought it was interesting here that it also means pirate in some ways. A lovely synonym is pirate. And that really makes a lot of sense if you think about, we've got this rogue bohemian adventurer. So it's a character that's not a likely person to be our hero. That's what we've got going on. And so that's just a quote from this article. And I think it's very interesting just to see the etymology of the word. Really hope I used that word right. It's been a long week, y'all. And then I pulled out some specific characteristics for us. So qualities of a picaresque. It's often a type of satire. So our novel, Confederacy of Dunces, is obviously satire. It's making fun of so many things from the modern world, pointing out the issues there, to life as we know it. And then it also has to offer social criticism. So, if we look at Confederacy of Dunces, it's very much obvious that they're offering some social criticism. Our character really doesn't like the modern world, right? He is criticizing a lot of things. For example, he can't stand Doris Day, like we talked about in class. And he feels like the superficial world of Hollywood is not a good one. So that's a piece of social criticism that this picaresque offers. Okay, next it's going to have this easy to read first person. I would say that this is pretty easy to read. It is not first person, but it is easy to read. So that's one checkbox counted. And then finally, it's going to follow a not so typical protagonist. So, for example, this guy with the hunting cap and weird mustache on an often pointless quest. He doesn't go on much of a quest, I guess, unless you count just his life being slightly pointless. Let's go from job to job. Let's get fired. So his whole life is just this interesting social criticism of, I was born in the wrong time period. No, I wasn't. Yeah, I have a weird relationship with my mom. It's just this whole strange novel full of interesting content. And I hope this has given you some, if nothing else, some thoughts and ideas for as you write your paper, like how we can talk about this idea of picaresque novels and this kind of strange genre and why it's important with this social criticism component. All right, guys, you're not my students. I will see y'all in our next class. Bye-bye.